Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And welcome to the Life Off Screen 2022. Wow, we're already there. New Year's celebration. We're glad you joined us today. Mm-hmm. And we have a wonderful episode. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully no one is saying, unlike their other shows.
Oh, yeah. Who could say that?
We have some great guests, and we're going to look back a little bit at the last year, as well as look ahead to 2022.
Well, to quote Elf, this is my favorite. The show is my favorite because we're bringing back three couples that we've had on before, and they are just not just dear friends, but they're just awesome people. And they're hysterical. They think funny, they act funny. That's at the core of who they are, because this is what they all do for a living.
That's right. We have comedian Tim and Heather Hawkins. We have comedian Anita and John Renfroe. And we have the creator, executive producer of Schoolhouse Rock.
Back in the day.
You bet. As well as the creator and author of the Godwinks book series and TV series and movies, Squire Rushnell, and his insanely hysterical, off the charts comedian wife, Louise DuArt. It's going to be a great show, so let's just jump right in. Welcome, everyone.
Hey.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
To you all.
It is so great to see all of you. We haven't seen you in a little while.
Well, to kick us off, we really wanted to kind of hear how this last year has been for you guys, but we thought what better way to ask this eclectic, funny group than pose the question like this. If your life in 2021 was a movie, what would the title be?
Oh my God.
So, Tim and Heather, we'll throw it out to you first.
It'd be Changes by David Bowie. I don't know about.
Yeah, the movie I'm not.
That's good.
Yeah, sure,
Should change
it. What's changed the most this past year?
Kids moving out. We downsized to the city. We were out on 3 acres before that. We just we're in the city now, so we're getting involved in community stuff is different because I was homeschooling 4 kids before, so now I'm out and about. That's just different.
Yeah, settling in grandparents. We're going to be grandparents for the second time. We found out. So
I did not know that.
Wow! Congrats again. The best.
Yeah, and
pretty good.
Yeah, so just it's going from suburban life to city life. It's been a lot of fun.
We got a couple of Airbnbs, so
we're taking over the world. It's like Monopoly. We're buying houses.
There you go. You started with
3
Baltic,
acres.
you're working away. There you go. Yeah,
we bought a
3
pig.
acres.
We bought a pig. His name is Arnold, and he's very smart.
I love it. John and Anita.
I think we have different ones. I would love for it to be something along, a James Bond 007 movie, except for the last one,
Yeah.
He dies.
No spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, he dies.
But for sure on that. But probably more appropriately, Grumpy Old Men.
It's been a bad year, huh?
I've been carded. I am not now officially 65 and Medicare.
Got a Medicare card.
And man, I need to hire somebody for all the appointments I have to keep just to keep me moving.
Yeah. Grumpy old man.
Things moving.
Do you have candy in your pocket? You have a piece of hard candy in your front pocket?
It's Medicare so
Old
fast.
men do that.
You got to play chess in a park.
Okay. We live on 23 acres. We did the opposite of Tim and Heather.
Yes.
We went from suburban life to 23 acres out in the middle of nowhere.
Wow.
So my life, I would love for my life as a movie to be It's a Wonderful Life. But actually the title this year would be It's Complicated, that movie.
That's a good one.
Because same as Heather and Tim, so many changes that you're having to navigate. And I believe your capacity to handle change does not continue to get larger as you get older. It's even though you've ridden the changes over many times, it still doesn't help you do it better. I'm sorry to say. I wish we were better at it. So
Thus grumpy old men.
right, exactly.
Right.
So,
Every day.
So yeah. So we're
I need a nap. Yeah.
it is still encouraging to know that you can. I would say like Tim and Heather, it's like, oh, well, we did it. But at the same time, you're like, and I'm exhausted. It took all my emotional energy to do this, much less real energy.
That bandwidth, right? Wow.
Yeah.
Stretch.
Is choking the bandwidth at this age, all of it.
Yeah.
So we're loving it, but at the same time, it's kind of hard when it hasn't been your habit all these years. So it's good to know you can still change. But I will say, I get why old people stay home. I get it.
Yeah. And I will a variation on a theme, since it seems to be a theme. For me, it's money pit. Because we just remodeled our house.
Yeah.
Squire Louise, what do you how would you name last year?
Well, as John said, because he's older as we are, and we live on an island and we haven't been able to see our children, I would say Home Alone.
You bet.
Yeah, it is interesting because we live in New England. And so we always have to wear our mask no matter where we go.
Yeah.
And we're, it's separate. We have to separate from people. So Home Alone. Thank God we have each other, truly.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Thank God you like each other.
I mean, really.
Isn't that a gift?
Absolutely.
Right?
But my choice would have to be self-centered, a Godwink Christmas.
Like you
Shameless
plug.
But I can't,
Shameless.
But I don't know whether it would be a Godwink Christmas 1, Godwink Christmas 2, 3, or 4.
Stop it.
Awesome.
And it's like my children. The one that's sitting on my lap is my favorite.
Right.
Squire is such a shameless plug. Look at, he's got it on his hat. He wears this to sleep. I don't know what's underneath the hat. I've never seen what's under there. So
Full head of hair.
maybe
You
we
buy
could,
that?
maybe we could reveal that. Well, then that would be another full head of hair. That would be The Imposter. That's another movie.
Yeah. For me, the movie would be Jaws 2. And it has nothing to do with sharks. It has nothing to do where Squire and Louise live.
Mm-hmm.
But if you remember, the slogan for that movie was just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Yes.
When 21 started, I thought, finally, I can start traveling again. And I booked all these trips. I booked all these flights and rent-a-cars and hotels. And boom, just when I thought it was safe, I canceled it all. And I only did one trip this year. And really hoping next year. But
crazy.
Squire, you mentioned Godwinks. Let's talk about that.
We'd love to.
Of course.
If he must.
Roll trailer.
All right.
Roll trailer.
Right.
He brings his whiteboard over.
Yeah. We have
Wait. Yeah. Have you seen
my girl?
there we go.
Shameless.
There we go. We don't
Godwink
need the trailer.
It is really
A
shameless.
Godwink Christmas number 4.
Yeah, number 4.
I love it.
Well,
Tell us about
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
for those that haven't seen the movies or read your books or didn't hear, God forbid, didn't hear you on Life Off Screen, give us a quick idea of what a Godwink is.
Well, a Godwink is one of those little coincidences that isn't. Because you know that it comes from divine origin. And actually, if you look up coincidence in the dictionary, it will tell you that it's 2 events coming together without apparent cause. But a Godwink is 2 events coming together with a cause, and that's God's cause, divine alignment usually, or a Godwink or a message that's directly to you. Out of 8 billion people on the planet, when you get a Godwink, it's a person-to-person message just for you. And that means you are special.
I love it. I love it.
Go around and just to get people opening their eyes just to see the Godwinks that are happening in their lives every single day.
Yeah.
We say
recognize the hand of the Lord.
Fingerprints of
Yes,
God.
exactly.
The sovereign good work of
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, in a minute, I want to go around to everybody and hear maybe what your favorite Godwink is. But I'll get it started. One of our favorites is it was about 1982 or 3. I forgot. Anyway, Peggy and I, we were in LA, then we moved to Denver. I pastored for a couple of years, and then the Lord led us back. And we were renting a little house while we were looking to purchase a house. And in that house, it didn't have a stove. And you pretty much need a stove. So we just prayed and we said, Lord, we need a stove. And we had some specific requests. One, the size of the hole in the kitchen for a thing was a studio size stove. So we said, Lord, it has to be small. Second, it has to be gas. There was a gas fitting there, not electric. And then we said, I really don't want to spend much money on it because we only need it for a few months. And then we added a little thing. We had a refrigerator that was that gold.
Lovely harvest gold.
Harvest gold, which was so in the 80s. And so we said, if you could make it harvest gold, that would be great. So we prayed. I immediately went for a little walk. I was no more than around the corner. And this man is on a two-wheeler rolling a harvest gold studio size stove that was gas. And he rolls it on his front lawn and he puts a sign, free.
Oh, I love it.
No.
Oh, Lord, thank you.
Flip all the cards.
Could you imagine him just within minutes turning around and walking that trailer to me?
It's gone.
Yeah. So I said, is this for real? Or I was thinking, is it an angel or something? Yeah. And he said, yeah. I said, can I borrow your two-wheeler to roll it home? He said, sure.
Oh,
so I took it home.
gosh.
And it was immediate.
Yeah.
So you say that because
Go ahead.
we have an Airbnb not too far from there, and we just had a gold. It was stolen.
It was stolen.
My Godwink is you got some,
You have our thing.
you have.
I have your stove.
You ever stolen one?
So,
That's a God raspberry.
Was it?
Tim and Heather, what about you guys? Looking back, what is something that just really had the fingerprints of God all over it?
oh, sure. I'll help
Yeah, we
you.
had a cool one happen about a month ago. Our daughter-in-law's brother had their baby premature. I think the baby was 21 weeks.
Yeah, it was 1 pound.
Tiny.
Oh my
little
gosh.
baby girl.
When we went to tell our pastor, who we live in Missouri, but we have other pastors also in Chicago, we said, could you pray for this baby? Her name is Violet. And he was stunned because when he was preaching on Saturday, the day that Violet was born, God gave him the word Violet from the pulpit. And he was like, why am I supposed to know this word? He said it from the pulpit. Like, I don't know what this is for, but God has brought the name Violet or the word Violet. So on his phone, he put the color violet, and it says captivated by the Holy Spirit was the meaning that he found. And he just sat on it waiting to know, why did I need to know this? And then when we told him about baby Violet, he said,
Wow.
Oh my
Oh, I
God. We
love
have to
it.
get all these stories.
Yes, Heather.
We've got to get all these
Wow.
stories.
You have to write them to us. Right.
I think those things are, it's God letting you know you are not alone. I see you. I value you. Your cares, I care about your cares, big, small, whatever they were, so that's overwhelming.
That's wonderful. John and Anita.
Yeah, well, we agree that since we talked about this on the way over to set up to do this, that since knowing Squire and Louise, I think we've been aware of Godwinks like every day, all day. We're looking for them. We expect them. We are not as surprised by them. We just expect God to be doing them. Because once your awareness is raised, then it all looks like the fingerprints of God on your life. But the one that is most memorable for us is the day we met at church. But my mom and dad had just moved into this area, and we were looking for a specific church to go to at the, we call it the witching hour, which seems really ironic since it's about church, but 11 o'clock, the God appointed time for all people together.
Well, the old school used to be.
It used to be. Yeah, now we got like a lot of different times, but then it was just 11. So we were driving through our new town, and we were looking for this specific church. Now, here's the thing. My dad, incredible. He was GPS before it was invented, right? He was very good at reading maps. And never, ever, ever, to my knowledge, since the time, growing up, had ever misread a map. And that's what makes it the Godwink, is that it was so out of his wheelhouse. And so we ended up nowhere near the church we were looking for.
Literally the wrong town.
Almost in the wrong town.
And he was an outdoorsman. And
so he knew.
He
knew. And he knew he'd messed up. So we had seen a church back 5 or 6 blocks from where he was now reading the map on the top of the car hood. And he's like, well, it's 10:59. We need to go back because church is starting in 1 minute. So we walk into this church that we weren't going to. And John and his 2 sisters were singing that day. And my mom was like, oh, isn't he so cute? And I was like, oh, one of those girls is probably his wife. And as soon as they stopped, the pastor said, and his 2 sisters, how did he get, such lovely goober? All that to say, they were also having dinner on the grounds that day and a little singing thing afterwards.
It was our church's anniversary, which, made it even that much crazier. So it wasn't like they just came in and left. We invited them to stay for lunch and found out they sang. And so the pastor, being the wise man he was, invited them to sing as well.
And also said, John, wouldn't you like to show her?
And asked me to help get her comfortable with the soundboard and maybe what they would need, and kind of like the rest is history.
It's a huge job.
Wow!
I love that.
Okay,
I have one that's it's a little bit more serious, but I'll make it really brief. But got to be a chaplain for a year and a half at a hospital, and you guys know I've got the cancer history. One day, being told there's a 17-year-old that just tried to commit suicide and she's at this room. Could you go quickly? And I'm running there and I'm thinking, oh Lord, I do illness really well, but this is something else, can you help me? I need your, help. I need your word. I put my hand on that door and the Lord I go to open it. And the Lord whispers in my heart that you made a life and death decision at 17. That's all I hear. And I thought, so I walk in and this girl will not look at me. There's a pallor in the room. So I just said, I don't know what voices you are hearing. Can I tell you what I hear? She's not looking at me. I hear the voice of a husband who thinks he's won the lottery in you. Children whose sun rises and sets on your voice and your hugs. And I said, sweetheart. And then all of a sudden her eyes come around, big crocodile tears. I said, they're all right here in God's safekeeping for you. You and I have something in common. I made a life and death decision at 17, just like you did, but I chose life, right? So I got to explain what that meant. Ask her if she wanted to make that decision. She said yes. Prayed with her to receive the Lord. Doors open, her doctor's team, and everybody comes. I had a 15-minute window.
Wow.
So it was so.
How wonderful is that?
Oh my God.
You know what these stories are really, every single one of these stories is showing us that the principle of divine alignment exists. Divine alignment are those things that we all have had. We just happen to be at the right place at the right moment for us to encounter exactly the person or the event that God wanted us to encounter at that minute. 2 minutes earlier would have been too early. 2 minutes later would have been too late. We happen to be there at that moment for God to use us for his purpose. And when those paths crossed, our Godwink was always there. And that is just so amazing.
Well, in Proverbs, it says, in all your ways, acknowledge me and I shall direct your paths. And he really does. We acknowledge him. And we often say, when you have a Godwink, acknowledge God, thank him for it, because that's his communications. And we often talk about, well, if God's not going to talk to us in a physical voice, how does he speak to us? He speaks to us with these divine alignments along our path. He opens.
Yeah.
Usually when a Godwink happens, you either say, wow.
Yeah.
Or you say, What are the odds of that?
Yeah, that's right.
That's
God,
right.
there are no odds.
That's right.
Exactly.
That just shows us that it's him.
That's
and
right.
and we are like you, Anita and John. We open up every day with partner prayer,
Every day.
and then we say,
Mhm.
"Put us in the game, Coach."
Well,
Yeah.
Show us the Godwinks.
Mhm.
What do we need to do?
yeah,
And
I
also the
almost-
fact that all of us are encouraging each other. When we share our Godwinks, what it does, and they're conversation starters.
I just wanted to say, when we met Squire and Louise, we were aware of all these God things happening, looking, and of course, he introduced us to that term, and he was still developing that, and we took that, and to this day, I'm grateful that he gave us a term for that, because literally, not a week goes by, I don't think that we look at each other, something happens, and we just say Godwink.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Thank you,
That's
John.
right.
It's code for.
So we think about you a lot, Squire.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
Well, speaking of terms, if you could pick a nickname to be called, what would you pick?
What would people call you?
Nick, why don't we start with you?
Um, Mine would be, here's $5.
What?
Here's $5.
Here's $5. Because guess what? Everybody's going to look at you. And if you don't deliver, you're a schmo. And
They're going to give you $5.
and that's right. And just think of the good I could do.
Yeah. Mine would be, I'm a pixie, because it would level the playing field. No matter who I met, how intimidated I was, if he started by saying, "Hey, I'm a pixie,"
Yeah.
it kind of levels the play. It, kind of gives me equal footing.
Hey, Dan,
Yeah.
you've really been dealing with the stress of the remote. Have you been using controlled substances? Are you breathing in all the way?
His name's Pixie.
Yeah. Call me
Everybody
Pixie.
knows.
Everybody
Pixie.
knows
Yeah.
Pixie.
Hey, Pixie. Pixie's coming over.
Here's $5.
Yeah. John and Anita.
My favorite nickname is what my grandkids call me, which is Grammy, because I knew for sure I was never going to be up for one. So I was like, let's make that the grandmother name. So I get Grammy every day.
That is gold.
Maybe I'd be opinionated old man. And that way, I had
It's his whole theme. That's his theme.
Variation on a theme. He's consistent.
Well, I know what ours is, because people call us that all the time. Because Squire will say, "I'm Squire, and this is my wife Louise," or we're known as Squeeze.
Squeeze.
That's
They call us
great.
Squeeze.
It's a little cute.
I know,
I
it's a little too
admit, it's a
cute.
little cute.
But
Okay.
everywhere we
Better than
go, they'll
liar.
say, "There's
Squeeze.
Squeeze."
Love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Does anybody call you Joe Biden to your face?
He looks a little, doesn't he?
No, Brandon.
He does. Yeah, we call him Brandon.
Let's go.
Oh, there you go.
Go, Brandon.
We-
He does look like him, doesn't he?
Oh, please.
Oh,
Wait a
yeah.
minute. You used to.
SNL wants you.
Well, people thought you were Tim Conway sometimes.
Yeah.
They come up to him.
Yeah. No, if I had my own nickname, I would, not for complimentary purposes, I would be called Ageless.
Oh, okay.
Not because, only because I consider that a defiant word, and I drive my wonderful wife crazy, because we'll go to the doctor's office and the nurse will say, "Okay, what is your age?" And I'll say, "I don't know, but I'll give you my birthday. You can figure it out if you want to. I just don't happen to pay attention to my chronological age.
She's into
I'm into attitudinal age.
Yeah.
So I am the age that I think I am, which I think is healthier than being chronologically whatever."
Okay, so I want to switch gears here. Okay, this is just a fun one that I liked, is the fact that we all comedians here, you guys, and sometimes we're the brunt of those, but best pranks you either pulled or were pulled on you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how do you pick, right?
So many. Yeah.
I just thought of one.
Okay, go ahead. Now
And it
that
is,
give you time.
yeah. Okay. So about the only time I ever do anything tricky is at special occasions, birthday or Christmas, when I'm trying to, make my gifts bigger than they are. Well, this one Christmas when we were still younger, married, and fairly broke.
That still today.
So last year, yeah.
And we've come full circle in that sense. Yeah. But stockings are a big thing for us. And so every year the stockings are primo. You put all the best little stuff you can find in there. And so one year I was very proud of myself. I had gone and found an onyx ring with a diamond in the middle. Yeah. And I was so excited. I bought it, maybe one of my first purchases at a real jeweler other than wedding ring. Mm-hmm. But see, not being a smart person then, I thought it was going to be cute. I had this little bag that I found to put it in. What I did not realize on the outside of the ring, it said Chico's because I wanted to stick the bag. I wanted to put it in the very bottom of the stocking. The last thing so it'd be the last thing, and I would, be the winner because everything else was kind of that. So she digs through, pulls out all the little stuff, digs it, pulls that out, and I'm just sitting there waiting for her to just explode, man. With a real excitement. Diamond. She opens it, takes it out, and there's really no reaction other than, oh, it's cute. It's cute, thank you. And I'm like, I'm devastated because I just knew, man, that jewelry was gonna just.
I just knew that it came from Chico's. That's all.
That's all I knew.
I'm confused.
It can't be good.
Yeah, so I didn't at the moment know to ask. I just kind of like, well, so literally a couple of months later, she's not even wearing the thing. And I'm like, why aren't you wearing that ring? I got and she's like, what? It came in a Chico's bag. And I'm like, that ain't where I got it from.
Yeah.
So whips out a receipt.
I had to explain it to her. Yeah, that I was,
terrible.
Still paying for it.
Don't judge a present by its wrapping.
It's cheap.
I'd have known. Again, in the wisdom, I got one of those nice little blue boxes and put it in there.
Yeah, go to Tiffany's. Yeah.
Enough for that pranks. No more of those.
That did not work out very well. That's how pranks roll with us.
That's why we don't do them. Go ahead. Somebody else has a better pranky life. Go ahead.
Tim and Heather, do you guys have something?
Well, Heather says, you said, well, we're talking with comedians. She's like, I'm not a comedian. Heather is funnier than anybody. And like today was it a white elephant?
Oh yeah. So it was my book club party today for Christmas. And so someone got a new computer. So I went ahead, it was obvious. Okay. So I put Hunter Biden's laptop on it and then filled it with stuff. But I made it happy. So they thought they were getting a computer of Hunter Biden's.
Isn't that genius?
That's great. That's great.
Okay, I have a genius one. It's not me, but I went to an all-girl Catholic school. My whole high school year was prank. So, but this is my favorite. I'm letting you take this one.
I was about 10, 11 years old, and it was about 4 days before Halloween. And I saw all the moms in the neighborhood coming back from the grocery store with all this candy, getting ready for Halloween night. And I thought, how do I get that candy early? And so I got a buddy of mine and I wrote a real bogus scavenger hunt list.
This is so smart.
And I wrote things that they would never have, like a chandelier, a bowling ball, a piano, just things that, and at the bottom, I put 2 pieces of candy. And I went door to door. I go, hi, we're a scavenger hunt. I'm trying to win it. Do you have any of these things? And they look, nope, don't have a bowling ball. Nope. Hey, honey, don't we have a couple candy bags? And they would rip open their candy and give them to me. And so I'm walking back. Remember in those days we used pillowcases? I walked back with a pillowcase full of candy. So not only did I have all this candy way before all the other kids, but I knew which houses had the best candy. So come Halloween night, I marked those homes and I only went to them and got more candy.
There you go.
Oh, I love it.
Scientific.
I love it. Well, I have a prank that I played, and I have a couple of dear friends. It was their 40th wedding anniversary, and they're very, very dear friends. And I said, I want to take you out for dinner. I mean, any place you want to go. And I said, the most expensive place. This was when I was in New York. And they said, well, we love Daniel's restaurant. Well, Daniel's restaurant is the number one restaurant in New York. And then that's a little
reservation 6 months from now.
Right. Yeah. So you have to reserve something 6 months in advance. So I said, we're going to Daniel's tonight. And she thought it was a joke. Well, I call up Daniel's. At this time, Joan Rivers was still alive. And I said, hello, this is Joan Rivers. Listen, I know it's late, but I have these dear friends. I forgot it's their anniversary. And I would love to take them to Daniel's. Do you think there's anything? Oh, Miss Rivers, of course we have something for you. Of course we do. Oh, that is terrific. Okay, we'll be there. There'll be the three of us, there was such and such. Okay, so then I go with my friends I actually went with them. So there's going to be four of us. I went to Daniel's and I go into the ladies' room, get on my cell phone and say, this is Joan Rivers. Listen, I'm late at the studio and I can't show up. But do me a favor. Will you take very good care of my friends?
Oh my gosh.
Right.
And you only use that.
Put it on my bill.
Put it on my bill.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrific.
Really?
I once walked into a restaurant that was super crowded, and damn, I walked up to the front and I just looked every way. There's no way we're getting in. But when they took our name, I said Sinatra Party of Four. And I just sat down and we sat there. Sinatra Party of Four. Up we went.
Now, I've used that tactic, I'm sorry to say, several times.
Yeah.
And it's
appropriate we can get on this.
Nobody
It can be edited.
Okay, I might as well.
He meant to prank, but he got pranked.
So, okay, I'm in college and I had two roommates, John and Brad. And I come home, when I'm playing basketball at the rec center and everything, I'm all sweaty. So I come home, I'm getting ready for a shower. So I'm dressed, getting ready for a shower, take my clothes off, and I'm basically down to an athletic supporter.
TMI.
And I knew that Brad was in the kitchen. I could hear him doing something. So I was like, I'm going to make him laugh. So I had this old clown mask. So I'm just wearing my athletic supporter and I take this clown mask and I take a couple of socks and I put them in the supporter. And so I walk into the kitchen and I'm like, hey, Brad. And he was
Carol.
Brad. And I was like, Carol. He was with his new girlfriend, Carol. and they were carving a pumpkin. And she looks, she's like, ah! And I was still.
Wait, Tim. So she's got a knife?
She's got a knife. They're carving a pumpkin. She screams. I actually said, I'm actually also wearing socks. So when I turned around, I slipped on the linoleum and I'm face flat, spread eagle and a jockstrap and a clown mask. So the next thing I know, I leaped from my stomach. I don't know how I did it. I jumped up and I bashed my foot against the wall and I landed in my other roommate's room who was with his girlfriend doing homework.
And everyone was scarred.
fine.
Yeah.
For life.
You can't unsee that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
in college,
but-
when we go to weddings, that girl would show up once in a while. And it's like, that's
Oh,
That's the guy in the mask.
Oh my
Ding,
God.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Oh my
How do you
gosh.
recognize him?
I feel
With his clothes on.
I had, for Dan's 30th, I hired a singing telegram. So I thought that was a great thing to do. I let him know that he was an associate pastor at a church. So let's keep it clean.
Yeah.
So in walks this girl with a little cake. It was pretty decent. So, you know, she kind of little ruffly little pantaloons, but it was decent. And she begins her song by singing, "You're 30, you're 30, you're 30. It's time to get down and get dirty." I dang. Our pastoral staff was all there. It was just, I couldn't get to her fast. My brother, my friends
Never
have
let me down.
never let me live that.
Yeah.
I love
That was a classic.
Oh,
Well-
we're just having too much fun. Can we do this like every week?
Yeah, that's what
All
we should do.
this crowd all get together.
Yeah.
You're killing me. Oh my.
Yeah. Well, we do need to wrap it up. So I want to go around and ask you, what are you excited about or hoping for in the new year?
Yeah.
Squire and Louise, we'll start with you guys.
Well,
Here he goes again.
we're into dogs.
Yes.
And and our latest book is just happened to have a copy. Godwinks.
Godwinks.
Just happen to have a copy. What is a dog wink? A dog wink is a Godwink story with the dog right at the center of
Yes.
it. So, Dog Winks starts with the first movie on Netflix in February, March.
Awesome.
Got the movie. We just finished it, and it is a fabulous Godwink story with a dog at the center called Ruby. And it's just an amazing, amazing story.
It's called Rescued by Ruby.
Yeah.
Oh, love
Yeah.
it. Love
That's
it. We'll look
great.
for it.
Boy, you have your plate full already next year.
Yeah, I'm glad you're
Yeah.
ageless. because-
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Peggy. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Me too.
Yes.
Thank you, Peggy.
John and Anita, what's ahead for you guys?
Well, I would like to say that we knew. Do we know that?
After 2020 going like good. Now 2021, it was like,
back
oh,
on
and
the
that was like
road.
Groundhog Day. So we're hoping that 2022 was a little different.
It was sort of I would say, Dan, very close to you guys making all these plans, for travel and everything. And then it was like, oh, wait, 2021 is just 2022.0.
Right.
Yes.
Or as it would look on a piece of paper, 2020.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I did probably in the fall, like 8 or 10 events, which would have been what I did in 1 month on a normal year.
Mhm.
So it's been quite, just trying to figure out, are live events coming back? Do people trust them yet? I would say where you live, Louise and Squire, with the mask mandates being still so tight. We live in Texas, where not only do we mostly not wear masks, we're like, come on, cough on me. Let me see. I'm scared.
A Texan greeting.
Yeah. So we don't really know. I mean, John is still doing ministry and I am still doing some things, but definitely not on the scale. I don't know. I think Tim's back out on the road some. But we don't really know how much of that is coming back in a recognizable form.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of asking the Lord what's next. And I don't know that I know, but I'm prepared to be winked, Squire.
There you go.
By God.
She does have a good dog wink for you.
I do.
Really?
But, yeah, it's a story. But other than that, trying to kind of claim the land, that 23 acres that we built the house on last year.
It doesn't weed itself.
It was just hunting land undeveloped. So, we think that we're pretty much growing rocks right now. So
we are rock farmers.
Working on that.
Great.
And another Godwink that my daughter and son-in-law relocated to right up the road from us. I'm very excited to be a part of what they are doing here, and God's just blessing, and I can be a little part of that
8
as care
grandbabies.
pastor. Yeah.
8 grandbabies.
8. Oh, that's right. You beat us.
Which we had everybody here for Thanksgiving for a week. So that was
That's so
Wow.
wonderful.
and very tiring.
But I will say I'm prepared to be surprised. So I don't know what 2022 is about, but I'm open to whatever the Lord has for us next.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Tim and Heather.
Well, one thing is he's doing everything differently, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And backed way off on purpose. So from before 90 to 100, hopefully just down to 30 to 40 shows here. So we're like, that's going to be weird and different, because for 17 years it's been high gear. We didn't know we could do it differently, and once we found out,
Yeah, we didn't know you could take a break. They didn't tell us that.
we didn't do it the right way. Okay.
So, but it's like Dan is. If everybody else doesn't know that the Rupels were a Godwink for us, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Where we got in 1 year, we got the best and the worst advice we've ever gotten. One guy told us that you cannot make money on the internet. And the other advice was the best, which was from Dan. It said, just start creating content and put it out there
on this thing called YouTube.
This thing called YouTube, which we didn't know what to do. And we followed Dan's advice. And 17 years later, and also following Anita, who just exploded at that time too. Just following that, we didn't even know what it was. Anita didn't. I'm sure she didn't know what it was. But we had what God had given, going from VHS tape demos and flyers sent out to try to get shows to the world.
Yeah.
And so 17, 18 years later, it was the engine for what we did for a long, long time. And God has given us 2 years to really take off and kind of relax and rebuild. And so I'm just excited to do things in a different way. Career-wise, I think it's more relaxed. It's more relational, kind of getting back. I'm so thankful for what we had, but it's also, it had run its course.
Yes.
So now it's the why. It's more of the why driven, and I call it a spiritual infrastructure. I think we'll have a stronger one. It's a simpler time, but I think that, and to encourage Anita, John, all you guys, is that I think that God is sharpening us for something very precise.
Yes.
That less of our time is going to be more precise and more effective.
Yeah, that's what
and he's going to give us more, not only just streams of income, but just ideas and ways to connect with our audience.
Like we have a podcast that we've been doing.
Yeah, we have a podcast we're getting sponsorships. It's going well. Something we do with our daughter and his and her husband, and the four of us, which is just a lot of fun.
The scriptures tell us that life is about seasons. To everything, there's a season. And I agree with all of you. I think the Lord is ushering from season to season to season, and he has a remarkable season ahead of us. And to echo what Anita said a little bit ago, and this is what I tell film students, especially the ones that say, what do I do to get started in the industry? And I say, prepare to be surprised. Prepare, learn your craft or whatever work God is calling you to. And then getting back to Godwinks, he'll surprise you with opportunity and to fulfill the calling and the talents he's given you. And he'll open the proper door. And that's our prayer for each one of you this year ahead. And that the Lord would take you into a remarkable season of fruitfulness in all he's called you to.
And sorry, Han, I was going to interject just right on exactly what he said, is that what we love about each one of you is what we encourage these students to do, is that be like Daniels, be the best at your craft, because you guys are excellent at what you do. You've all been pioneers and blazed trails for others. And you give back, you mentor, you've taken people on the road with you. You've just it's been remarkable, but not just excellent, but you're also like Daniel. He didn't drink from the King's cup. He had integrity and character. And like what you're saying, Tim, in a time when sometimes this work is crazy and unsustainable, all of a sudden God gives us this pullback to reassess and an opportunity to do things differently. So God bless you guys.
Well, we love all you guys. Thanks for being with us. And our real hope for next year is to see all of you face to face.
Amen.
So
sounds like a great plan.
Come on, let's have a reunion face to face.
There you go.
Martha Vineyards, your place.
Yes.
We're going to have a revival.
Yes.
Right here. It's going to start right here.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
guys. Happy New Year. Love to all of you.
Wonderful, wonderful year. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us for Life Off Screen with Dan and Peggy Ruppel. Life Off Screen is produced by Mastermedia International. Our technical director is Jason Rugg. Please subscribe to the Life Off Screen YouTube channel or subscribe to the Life Off Screen podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We'd love to hear from you. You can leave your comments in the comment section, and to find out more about Mastermedia, go to mastermedia.com. Thanks again for joining us. Hope to see you next time.